Hi everyone, and welcome to the second episode of TMG Inspirations. I got that one right the first time. So today I'm delighted to be welcomed by Andy from Hallcroft. So how are you today, Andy? A bit nervous?
Very nervous, mate. It's a bit nerve-wracking sitting on this sofa with you.
It is a bit. It feels a bit comfort. It doesn't feel like a GMTV kind of.
I don't think we're going to be rivaling Eamon Holmes just yet, are we?
Could be Ant and Deck. Or Chuckle Brothers.
That
Obviously, we
sounds
are
more
more
like
Rotherham, so Chuckle Brothers probably
George
feels
joins
it.
us in a bit.
Yeah, when all three of us are on. So the reason you've come today is free food?
Lunch. Carry a few favours with compliance by popping in and saying hello. Always a good start, isn't it?
So probably the most important question of today, and while I fix this, is it lunch or is it dinner?
That is a great question. It's lunch, apart from Christmas Day when it's Christmas dinner, isn't it?
But don't you have dinner ladies, which is then 12 o'clock? And that is, I always think that's a southern thing where we go lunch.
I had 8 years in London, didn't I? So as my mates refer to it, I'm a plastic cockney. I still call it, I call a taxi a cab occasionally and never hear end of it. So, yeah, I think I'm still a lunch person.
That's gone down in my estimation. Yeah. Like dinner and tea. Dinner at 12 o'clock, tea at 6 p.m. George will back me up on this, correct?
It's a brilliant segue into his banking background.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've done well doing that. So we didn't mean to, but your background. So you was in London for how many years?
It's only about 8 years. So started off in Barnsley with Yorkshire Bank when I left school. Mainly because I didn't know what to do at college, and my careers teacher's wife worked at Yorkshire Bank, so he steered me down that path for 6 months till I decided what I wanted to do, and then never left. Not for want of a few people probably trying to get me out the door.
So when did you move to London?
Moved to London when I was about 21, 22. Got a transfer with Yorkshire Bank down into Yorkshire Bank down that way, and Clydesdale Bank as it were branded then, so I spent a bit of time working in retail branches. Met lots of friends, moved into London, actually Piccadilly Circus, ticking off all glamorous locations, Barnsley, London.
Single and mingling then, or we Ali?
No, I met Ali down there on her works night out, so she worked for the same bank, so I went down there to see the sights and enjoy the life of London and came back to get married. When you realise the price of property down there is a little bit more than Barnsley, so yeah, we moved back. Ali moving from Essex back to Barnsley, that's quite a change. Imagine accent our kids have got.
Who choice was moving from Essex to Barnsley?
Ali's. So we came home, or back to Barnsley. My friend were buying a semi-detached 4-bedroom house for the price that we were going to pay for a flat in Kent, and we decided if an opportunity came back up to move, we would. That were on the Saturday. On the Monday, both our jobs equivalent in Yorkshire came up, so we decided to sort of bite the bullet. Move back up here.
Get some proper Yorkshire tea.
Get some proper Yorkshire tea. Get a bit more for your money. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Bit more laid-back lifestyle.
Get a whippet.
So I think, yeah, London were great and it was enjoyable. I made a lot of good contacts, a lot of good friends. Adrian being one of them, who worked with in London, ended up living with for a little while, and now we set up Hallcroft Finance.
So
office in Leeds as part of that.
When did you move back to Barnsley?
I should know this. What year we got married? 2011, August time we moved back. So we've been back here a while. Moved back to York to work, but live in Barnsley. That were a great idea. I did the test run on a Sunday when there were no traffic, and York didn't seem that far away. And then on the Monday, it took me about 3 hours to get into work. So that quickly changed to working in Leeds.
So when you was employed. And then what year did you go self-employed?
Yeah, so then I moved into Handelsbank, did a few years there, left in 2019. Just before lockdown, I decided to go self-employed with a cracking family business that I'd known through work. They gave me an opportunity. Took it. It was a bit of a brave conversation to have with Ali when we got home because we'd got a coming up for 3-year-old daughter, decent-sized mortgage, probably equivalent on a car loan, and I were going to walk away from a salary and lots of benefits to go and start out on my own.
So banging COVID, or just about to go in COVID. What did you learn from COVID? What was the good bits of COVID?
I think the good bits were we learned to adjust, didn't we? I think everybody did, whether that were business or family. So, we went for a spell of you couldn't even walk down the same side of a road as someone else, could you, without crossing over? So
we're all desperate for toilet rolls.
And pasta were like a premium currency, weren't it? So I think we adjusted. So me and Ali were both still working. One of us worked mornings, one worked the afternoon, the other one looked after Isla. So it got us out and about, probably reinforced how important family are when you couldn't see them as often as you would like. We're pretty close with parents and siblings. And then I think work-wise, you realise everything didn't have to be face-to-face. You didn't have to go in the office every day, and actually things could continue. And we're kind of going back a little bit to the office side, aren't we? But everybody's behaviour's changed. You can't beat face-to-face when you can have it.
Yeah, what's your view? My personal view is I'd love everyone to be... I feel like you do need a day at home sometimes, but I would normally have my staff in the office. Maybe that's just because I'm a control freak. But what's your take on office, stroke, home life, and how do you deal with... Because you've got a team around you, you're okay, but sometimes it does feel lonely, I'm guessing, if you're at home on your own.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate being sat on my own. So I'm always go out and about, always try and get somewhere. I'm quite fortunate. We work with some good professionals who are happy to give us a desk in their space if we want to go and, maybe not go all the way into our Leeds office, but we've got local professionals we can work with in and around Barnsley, which is great. But I like everybody in office because I like to see everybody. I like to catch up. We all go in on a Wednesday, and I kind of write that day off just for everybody wanting to chat through difficult cases, problem cases, and anything else in between. But for everybody else, there ain't one size fits all. There's some people like to come in, and if people want to go in office, I'll go in. Some people like to be at home, and then the Wednesdays are
Do you think you miss the London Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday club?
When I were in London, it were a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday club. I think it's a really different culture with clients and professionals, and that's been an interesting sort of discussion with Adrian and Martin, who's the other two directors in London. Things like when they go out for a lunch, they're writing off all day, because that's the expectation in London, that you take someone out, you're staying out, and it becomes a full event. We go out for lunch in Leeds. Most people are driving to work, so it's a Diet Coke and a sandwich and a catch-up, and it's a real different feel to it.
To London. And I always said it's probably the hardest job, and it's probably a bit of a job sometimes you love, sometimes you hate. It's the entertaining bit. So it is that people think it's pretty easy going for a pub lunch and then going out all night, but ultimately you have to be on your A game. You're talking shop, you're making connections, you're then getting up in the morning, and then you're going to have rubbish food because you've been out all the evening trying to talk shop. How do you like that part of the job, or with having two young kids at home, is it...
I mean, it was a blessing when both kids weren't sleeping, and I had to tell Ali that I had to go and work away, and away could have been anywhere that had a Premier Inn, really, just to get away for a bit of peace and quiet. But I think it is hard, and people look at it from the outside and think you're having a glamorous life. Like, you're out down in London, you've got 2-3 days out, but no one's doing my work when I'm down there, so you play catch up when you come back. Not seeing kids puts extra pressure on Ali and family support that we have at home. So I reckon 90% of my social life revolves around work now. That's because I kind of feel a little bit guilty getting extra time in with friends when I'm away so much with work.
When you've been out Tuesday night and a Thursday night, and then...
I think you become more selective, don't you? You'll be at that now. You get invited to a lot of things and deciding what to go to. Not just is there a business opportunity, but are there the right sort of people you want to be mixing with? We've done a lot with TMG, we've had events, and I think it's reassuring when you get out and about with people. Obviously, we'll go for a drink. We've had Andy Marsh and people at Access.
Yeah, we've got Cash Out this week.
Yeah,
Kids Out, Cash Out.
And I think...
So do you want to tell them, while we break it up a bit, can we tell them about your wonderful night out in Manchester?
I knew this was going to come up, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a really...
And I'll get the girls to put a clip on.
You can put a clip. Yeah, you'll need to have a picture with it, won't you? But we'd had a great afternoon in Manchester, haven't we? A bit of TMG networking, then we'd gone on to a few drinks after me, you and Marshy were left. Off we were going at casino, all ready for a lush night out. I got attacked, didn't I, by a bird from a tree who...
More like a falcon, I think.
I don't know what it were, but it wrote off a shirt and a jacket, put it that way. But didn't write off my night, weirdly, because I'd had enough beers to think it was still acceptable to try and get into casino, didn't I? So,
Yeah, it didn't work very well,
it
did
didn't work, no. But I think things like that, the social side is a big part of it, because you realise, other than getting attacked by birds, you realise the things that are annoying me or things that I get frustrated with, other people have got that same thing, so I think that's quite nice in the network that we're social.
Yeah, I think a lot, because you're the elder statesman, not the elder statesman, so they're old, but like you've been there a longer time, people respect you and people will want to pick your brain and go, right, what did you do in that situation? Yeah. What works? What doesn't work? And I think that's what this is about, going, right, full of been struggles, whether it's home life or work life or juggling, employees, is it right to employ, is it not, is it better to have admin, and we'll go on to those kind of bits. But I think being able to share it is better for everyone, just sharing your problems and going, you can get so frustrated at it, but whatever you're going through, I can guarantee another 10 brokers are going through the same problem you do.
It is, mate, and I think we speak about, you know, whether it's staffing and growth plans or whether it's just you've had a quiet month. Fortunate, George and Dave are sort of Barnsley based, so from Trusted we have been out for a beer and a pizza and a chat around things, and you see that you've got, you know, you're on the same page, you've got the same values, and if you stick at it, things will come good, and there's great months and there's more quiet months, isn't there, what come with it, and that's the learning curve of business, isn't it? But
do you try and look at it on a monthly basis or quarterly or 6 monthly?
Probably daily, mate. So I get obsessed with go. I think commissions team will be fed up of hearing from me, because you check in, and it's obviously the income coming in is important to me, but it's important to each single advisor as well. So everybody views it different. If someone's had a couple of quiet months, that big case is the most important thing for them when it gets paid. So strategically, as directors, the three of us look at it annually and then maybe break it down in a quarter and try and look at trends.
Yeah.
But I'm just really mindful that sometimes staff or the advisors, maybe not desperate for it, but a big case is work, they want it. They want to know they've worked hard for it. It's been a tricky case. It's been hard to place. They just want that money as soon as possible. So you can't help but get sort of swept up in that.
And you're passionate for your staff. And
yeah, and everybody we've employed, I think everyone we've employed, we've all tried to get the same values. So with the exception of two of them, I've worked with everybody else. It's always been people that we've worked with, and so you know you've got the same values.
No dickhead policy.
Yeah, exactly that, mate. And then the only ones we hadn't worked with were Stevie and Matt. We call them like the posh and Becks at Hallcroft. They've come back, and we've got friends in common who we'd work with, so it was really a warm introduction and a great fit for team. And I think everybody's got the same values, and that's massively important to me. So no matter how much business you write, if you don't write it in the right way,
you need to get on with each other.
Yeah.
So we've gone around the houses, and we haven't even spoke about Hallcroft yet, how it was set up, what you was looking at when you set it up, why you set it up, what you was doing as a family unit at that point. So yeah, let's talk about Hallcroft and where did it come from, what year was it?
Yeah, so, Hallcroft was set up about 15 years ago by Adrian and Martin in London, so they've got a commercial arm, so they do property development, commercial transactions, right up to complex sort of funding requirements, and both have been involved in development themselves. I would have a family business before, and I kind of get itchy feet for wanting to set up on my own and wanting to drive my own direction, really, I think, and what I thought I could do. And then maybe panicked a little bit that going out on your own, it's a big wide world just to be on your own, isn't it? So used Adrian as a bit of a sounding board, and then one thing led to another, and instead of trying to pick up a bit of advice, we decided to set up together.
So that's an interesting point, and I think that's what people want to learn about. You was already a mortgage broker, and you leaned on Adrian and said, look, this is what I'm looking at doing. So you kind of got two options. Do you go full tilt in being self-employed yourself under your own business name, or you've got that comfort and you know the leads are there and you know obviously very well. Did it take long to weigh up which way you wanted to go, or what was your thought process between actually 100% of something or a bigger part of something even bigger?
I think we had a couple of options, because one of my clients offered to bankroll me setting up on my own, because she had more confidence in what I could do than I did. But the fact that joining with Adrian and Martin gave me a sounding board for people who've gone through setting up a brokerage.
Yeah.
It gave me their contacts, and it gave us a real sort of comfort, if you like, because the thing I was worried about was, what if no money comes in? I think we met, when I decided to come to TMG, we met for a coffee. Premier Inn, over Barnsley way, and I think you had more confidence in what I was going to do after meeting me for 2 hours than what I did, and I probably didn't have that belief in myself that I probably should have when I look back.
Do you think that comes from being in an employed environment to then going self-employed and then going, actually, it's another...
Yeah, it's just
a
another
bigger
layer,
jump. Yeah, it's a bigger jump what you're going out.
I think really fortunate that I had, Ali was massively supportive, and she kind of knew, she always said she knew it would work out, and she knew it would be a great thing to do.
So Ali was, what's this, 2022, April 23?
Yeah, 2022. She was just going back to work part-time after Isla, so
Isla would have been...
Well, that's testing me now, mate. 5, maybe. And it were a lot to... Then all I were doing, having worked in banking, we sat down, me and Adrian and Martin, looked at numbers, and you assume no money's coming in for 6 months.
Yeah.
But you've got all these overheads, office, computer systems, MacBook. Got to have a MacBook, wanting to look better. We made all these decisions, and then my first day, I came and worked out of here, TMG.
Bit different to what it is now.
A bit different, but did a product transfer for someone and got a broker fee on day one. So you're just like, oh, actually, we thought we'd get nothing for 6 months, and something's coming on day one. Maybe it's not going to be as nervy as what we thought it were.
And how did you push yourself those first 3 to 6 months? Was it like a Facebook page, I'm here, or was it just WhatsApping your clients, or what?
Everybody I knew I'd set up that business, mate. Whether that were bumping into people, texting them, emailing people. Friends and family have been really supportive of recommending people. I think I went on one of my best friends' stag do. There were probably 25 of us went to Cheltenham. I'll not use his exact words for how he introduced me to everybody, but he told them I were a mortgage broker and they should work with me. And I reckon 22 of them are probably clients now.
Yeah.
So I've always been really grateful to friends. And I think that's probably a recurring theme, isn't it? George touched on when you spoke to him. Your friendship circle can make or break it, really.
Yeah.
They believe in you. You'll look after them. They'll tell your friends. They'll tell their friends. And it'll just... We all build on referrals. I think you put that on LinkedIn the other week, didn't you, about one of your posts or one of your podcasts, maybe with guys at Umbrella.
Yeah.
Referrals drive everybody, don't they, if you do it right?
Yeah, and you've got to be mindful, but the referrals, it might look like you've got 20 people have said, so out of that group of 25, 20 are doing it, and 20 have got mortgages. But ultimately, 10 might be on 5-year fix, so you can't touch them for that long period unless you're waiting on protection. Some might be 2 years away, some might be 6 months away. So it's not income straight away on mortgages. No. It's a long slog, and you've got to be prepared to go, look, it does take 2-3 years to build that client bank, unless you're going on, right, let's have a look at protection first, and we'll sort your mortgage out when it comes up for renewal.
I think that's been the big thing for the guys in the London office who were going into networking events, and they were like, out of that room, how many are property investors or property developers? And it were really hard to find that. I think you're narrowing your market. As soon as we set up the regulated side, we've got loads of conversations. Because all of a sudden they were talking about mortgages, protection, home insurance. Everybody in the room's got something along them lines, haven't they?
Yeah.
If you haven't got a mortgage, you've got an income. Or you've got a family that needs protecting. So it opened up a lot of different conversations around that and what we can do. So I thought that was good for all of us. It gave us all something different to talk about.
So we set up. You got your PT day one.
Yeah.
Business started to trickle in, and ultimately you start telling people what you're doing, and then people start looking over their shoulders and be like, can I be part of that?
Yeah, well, I think I had like a 2-year plan, I think, when we sat down, that I'd got 2 people in mind I wanted to come and work for us or work with us, and they were both on board within sort of 6 months. So that were a sign that probably what we were doing were right, and it were being perceived right across market, and that they want to come and be part of it. So that's been reassuring for us. And
obviously I know what your staff were like, but what did you look for when you was bringing staff in? Because there's different ways where you bring an advisor in. It's either they've been around a long time and they've got their own client bank and you don't really need to do a lot with them. You've got a keen and green, but when you're starting out as a new business, how do you support them? How do you look after them? how much TLC do we need, and then what happens if they're leaving 18 months, how do we look after those? And then obviously you've got the admin route, which is, to me, you've either got one of two when you start out. You've either got your older brokers what are coming in, have got a client bank, but want to be part of something what you've created and want an easier life, or you've got, right, go and generate more yourself and get a really good admin in, because long term they could be an advisor, and ultimately without beating around the bush, it's more profitable to do it that way and less headache for you, isn't it?
That if I answered it, it did imply that we had a strategy, and we didn't. I think there's been a more opportunity for us. So, a couple of good friends who I work with at Handelsbank in Leeds and in London, both were ready for a move, so they come across. So they were the right people, right contacts, right sort of experience, but never been a broker. So they needed a little bit of help on that side of it. Found that were really good. It's easier to teach someone OMS and how to source a deal than it is to teach someone to go and find a portfolio of clients and a back book of clients. So the people who've joined us have all been experienced and used to being able to chat with people. So we haven't gone down that sort of really green route as yet. Not to say that we wouldn't for the right person, but so far it's always been people who've got a network and we can just help them cultivate that and make the most of it for them. So
let's have a look. What are your 3 key things what you're looking for if you're bringing someone in?
Personality.
Yeah.
I think like work ethic. Don't shy away from getting stuck in. Just a bit of honesty. We're all in it together. So I'm picking up the responsibility of filling forms in for compliance and everything else. But our advisors are all self-employed, so that if something's not working right or could be done better, they should have a voice and should be able to come forward. Step up and tell us, and that's something that's important for all of us.
And then you've got obviously your office in London and you've got your office in Leeds.
Yeah.
What's the differentiation between London, Leeds, actually Barnsley?
London, Leeds, Barnsley would have sounded
London,
a bit like Del Boy's van,
Del Boy, that one.
Paris, New York and Peckham,
Yeah.
so we tried to keep
Maybe get you a
bit.
3-wheel van and it just has them all on it. So what are you seeing in London? What are you seeing in Leeds? And what are you seeing in Barnsley? Because obviously you've got Leeds, which in my opinion is on the up.
Yeah.
London's a bit under the cosh, waiting for
Barnsley.
And then, but Barnsley's like Rotherham. It is up and, to be fair, Barnsley's probably the most up and coming out of it with the town centre, the developments we're doing, close links to the motorway. So you have got 3 different.
It's 3
areas.
different markets, isn't it? And the easy one is to go, well, in London, just by sheer volume of debt, the mortgages are higher, so you could do less of them if you were down there and dealing with them. There's a lot more competition from a brokerage point in London. I feel like there's brokers on every doorstep and everybody wants a piece of the business. So it's a bit more competitive on that side. But that's where we've been able to use the Hallcroft brand, what's been around for a while, sort of 15 years or so, to open doors. So we've worked with a couple of accountancy firms doing employee wellness days.
Yeah.
We've been going into clients, architects, anybody that's associated with the business that we're working in, and say, look, we'll come in, we'll work out of your office. It's a benefit to your staff. They can sort the finances out on work time. They're not having to go out and book an appointment and try and get in to see a bank at a certain time on a certain day. We're here, we make it easy. And that's been really good. And that's been more well received in London and easier to set up than it has been up here. Where I think the bigger employers are more mindful of the staff are travelling an hour and a half to office. How can we make it worthwhile when they're in? If you're worrying about money, you're not doing your job right, are you? Because your mind's somewhere else, and that's the bit that we try and put it on, financial well-being.
So I like that financial well-being and getting into the big firms. So I think a lot of people will try and do that. But in reality, how do you do it? So like, do you reach out to the boss of that company, or are you going to the HR manager, or how do you position it as, look, we're giving you something?
They've all been different. We managed to get into Collier's, big company across the UK for valuers, because our development side worked with one of the directors at Collier's, so he put us in touch with HR. Took a little bit of persistence, a little bit of chatting, but they do an employee day once a year, so we were part of that. We went down to London Foot Day, me and Stevie and Matt Warren. We met people from all levels at Collier's, who were from junior right up to the senior partners, and had a chat with them about mortgages and what we could do, just in a room full of other complementary services, if you like, for the staff. So That's one what came off the back of that. It's usually we've got a client or a connection what then gets in. I don't think we get away too easily with a cold introduction.
No.
But if we've looked after someone and we can go in and deliver, it's a testament then, isn't it? Someone's saying these are good guys, these will do what they say they will.
So is that more thinking out loud when you look at your client book and you go, right, there were 20 self-employed directors what I've dealt with this last 2 years. Yeah. Actually, I sorted his mortgage out, I did a great job, or I sorted his protection out. But I know he runs a firm of 20 people, 50 people. Is that just a case of reaching out and actually for our brokers looking at this now going, look, go away and have a look at who you've done business with in the past, or if you've got an employed HR manager,
that's a great one.
Go into them.
Look at the job titles. That's the bit. If they sound like they manage some people, they've probably got a sway in it. Yeah. So we would mention it when we're chatting to people, and I always cover that off when I'm talking about what Hallcroft does at the beginning. So set the scene. Who's Hallcroft? What do we do? How do we do it? This is the other sort of things we do. And then when we have our mailing list go out, we'll talk about it on the newsletter and just say, click here if you'd like to be, updated and find out a little bit more about it.
So newsletters, do you do them regularly, monthly, weekly, or?
No, we maybe get 3 or 4 out a year, and we just try and tailor the content so we can, use what's been going out on LinkedIn or anything that's relevant at the time. But we're always open to, we talk about things that are changing. We talk about as clients, maybe on what they do. So that gives the clients a chance. They'll see another client get a mention. They might want to be part of the newsletter. So we had one who'd set up a letting agency.
Shine a light on them, they get business back.
Yeah, so we spoke about them. They're really good clients, really good friends. And that went out to all our mailing lists for what they do. Now, they might get nothing from it. Could get everything from it. But if one client sees it happening, pretty sure someone will ask for the next one. How do we get
why aren't I in it? Why, you've looked after them and not looked after us.
Which is great. It saves us having to write all the content, and it makes it a little bit more interesting to people, not just reading about mortgages or property development. It is something that's complementary to that side of things.
Yeah, and the mortgages are the boring bits of it, aren't they, if we're honest? It is people buy off people, and the reason why you go on network is you get all the introductions. And you told me earlier you don't like networking, but it's part of the job. So how do you overcome, a bit like I said to George on the last podcast, how do you overcome the nervousness of, I've got to get up at 6 o'clock, Ali, and I've got to go to this networking event, and I'm going to get a stale bacon butty and a cup of tea. Yeah. And then how do you feel about it? And then how do you, don't you go and speak to someone? Because I always find it a real struggle. Like, you're in a room full of 40 people, and I get really nervous, like wanting to make conversations. I'm looking for exit door rather than.
See, I'm probably looking for you at that point, because I think find someone else who looks uncomfortable. They're going to talk to you, and they'll let you talk about Hallcroft all day because they're worried. They sit on their own. So we did some training when at Clydesdale Bank about networking. I was like, if you look for that person, that'll be an easy one to go and talk to. And then as you work room and you get to talk to other people.
So we're looking for a vulnerable customer.
Well, a nervous,
introducer.
A nervous networker, I'd say. But someone who just is looking at the same thing, looking around thinking, God, who do I talk to? What am I going to say to someone? Great, just go over, introduce yourself. But I think the circles you're mixing, there's often familiar faces and people you maybe know that you can just reach out to, but
get onto a nice one who then can be a social butterfly, introduce
someone
to
who's
another
talking
10
to
people.
everybody, because that'll be great. When they've had enough of me, they'll pass me on to someone else. So you inevitably get talking to.
And how often do you do your networking events? Or how often? What do you try and go to them often? Obviously, it's very different now. You've grown a bit. Yeah, we probably don't have to go.
I think in London, I'd probably get down to London maybe 4 times a year, where we'll host an event for clients and professionals. A bit more of a social, just to meet people and put a face to a name. And then in Leeds, we go along to events rather than host a zone, but then we have a drink and an event every year to mark the sort of birthday, if you like, of Hallcroft. So we just have a room full of, we invite all his clients, friends, family, professionals, just to come and celebrate with us, I guess, that we've survived another year.
And then get them to post it, share it.
And then everyone puts a comment on, and it's a great chance to keep in touch with people. And I've got clients who come along to that I looked after at Handelsbank, who've done nothing with me yet since we set up. But they come every year, and we catch up. And when they do want something or they need something, I know they'll come to us. They know the team. They've got to meet more and more people. We're a proper family business. I think there's 15 of us across the offices. There's three couples within that. So when we talk about being a family business, it really is. There's a lot riding on it. Yeah.
Don't get anything wrong in it. So we'll touch on a few other bits because I think it's good to give back to the members and how they see stuff. And I kind of had this with George. Is you're a busy broker. You've got your admin team in there. When you talk about growth, we've discussed it. You would be more on more admin over more advisors.
Yeah, I think some of it, when you talk to some people, it can be a bit of a vanity thing. Oh, I've got 10 advisors. Are they busy? Are they writing a lot of business? Are they happy? Because if you had 5 advisors and admin were making their life easier so they could go out and write more business and do the bits they enjoy about the job, to me that makes more sense. So everybody will have a different driver, won't they, for what they want to do and why they want to do it. But for me, I think if you get the right admin, it makes such a difference. And we're seeing that with the admin we've got. New admins just recently started. So we've got 3 admin, in fact, 3 admin to 3 days each.
So they look after
and they look after keep everything ticking over. Clients know them. Everybody knows who's looking after them, and it's 2 points of contact then as well. So you feel like that's a bit more relationship driven, isn't it? It's like, I'm your broker, I'm your advisor, and this is your admin support. So you've got 2 people to copy in, 2 people looking after you. We review your rates every week that we've secured for you to make sure that if a better rate comes out with that provider, you're getting the benefit of it. And they just feel better knowing 2 of us are ticking it over. And
you're all a bit of a control freak like me, but I assume you've got to find the right person to be able to pass it on to, or you end up doing twice as much work.
I think I just do twice as much work, because even though one admin's my wife, and I still won't pass certain things on to her.
Yeah.
And certain customers still get looked after by me, because I can't give it, and that's my aim for this coming year, is to sort of be able to take that little step back a little bit, still look after clients, but delegate where I can. I tell other people to do it, and you probably found this.
Yeah.
It's really easy to tell other people what you should be doing. Take your holiday, don't take your laptop, switch off, it's important. And then I'm the one on holiday with my laptop, just checking in for an hour around the kids.
I got told years and years ago before I even set up, is actually take your laptop and have an hour in the morning and an hour at night where you can be contacted.
Yeah.
So if the world's on fire, they know they've got you between 8 and 9, or they've got you between 6 and 7 in the evening, and they're the 2 times they can ring you, but the rest of the time your phone's off.
Yeah.
I've not mastered it yet.
No.
But
work in progress.
The principle of the idea is really good. That look, if there's a problem, these are the 2 points. You can contact me, and the rest is down to you. And I think that's a big thing, being able to. I don't think in this industry you'll ever be able to switch off completely, but if you can break them into little cycles and be able to switch off for 4 hours, then you're not looking at your emails, when you are playing at pool with kids and you are having a bit of family time.
I think that's the difference now. The kids are a bit older, so they're quick to hold me to account for it. So when they want to play, when they want to be in pool, when they want to do things, working an option.
Get off your phone.
Get off your phone, Dad. Come into this. Right, okay. So that's a great distraction for me. What it does mean is that Ali sees that as a license to book more holidays to distract me and to make the most of it. But we all got to work for a reason.
Yeah.
For me, it's to get best life to kids and family and enjoy it. So it's just getting that balance right, I think.
So you said that, like, what you work for is to look after the kids, give them a better quality of life. Do you think it's a bit of a northern thing where most people will be, as long as I give a better life to my children than what my parents gave me, that's success? Or do you think actually I want to go and do something even bigger and more? Or are you in that mindset of actually success to me is I've done better, the kids are happy, the kids are well looked after? What defines success to you?
That's a good question, isn't it? Because
that was a beauty question.
I can't see where you're reading it from. Yeah. I think, you look at, I think I had a good childhood growing up. We had holidays, we didn't go without things. But I'd like to think I'm putting my kids in a better position than what I were in. And that's just a natural progression. It's a straight away you think you've done well, you feel like you're doing all right with it. I don't know what success looks like. Probably, it got summed up for me when my nephew Freddie came to office and said to Stacey, I want to be what Uncle Andy is when I grow up. I said, do you know what that is? And he went, no. But he's always out with his mates and looks like he's having a great time. And I thought, well, that's it, that's success, isn't it? Someone wants to do what you're doing, even if he's got no idea what it is. That's as good a measure as you're going to get for anything. So I don't know how you measure success, mate. I think at the minute, Ali would probably measure it in handbags.
Or holidays.
I measure it. If we've got a happy team in office, and I've got happy wife, happy kids, that's enough, isn't it? You've just got to get that right fit then and balance the work around it, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's the hardest bit, what I never get right. I'm completely the opposite of it. But that is that is a nice way to be, so you're not overly driven.
Yeah.
But the kids know, but what do you go on holiday? Once a quarter?
Yeah.
Which is natural for me, so I know this week I burnt out, or last week I burnt out massively. But I know my holiday's in a week's time.
I think having it to look forward to, that's always something that we book our holidays way in advance, because that's what drives me then. We've got that. I need to get all this done so that we can go away and enjoy it, and then we come back, we restart, we go again. And I think and we only ever go for a week, because I don't want to be away from work for more than a week, because world could fall apart, couldn't it? If I weren't, it never will. The world lives without Andy being at Hallcroft for day 8, doesn't it? But I think that's just my mentality.
It's weird as a mortgage broker, because I couldn't take more. I'd try and do more than a week. I think 10 days is my absolute limit, but I'll take my laptop with me.
Yeah.
I think going out for 2 weeks is probably too long as you grow in a business, because you're then starting to think about it and your mind's at the office instead of with the kids. So I think 7 days is a perfect respite to kick you back on. So is that what you do? You planned it, 3 months, 6 months? You booked your holidays in advance?
We'll be booked up to August next, so we'll be booked a year probably. We'll get back off one holiday and book the similar time for next year, just so we've got focus, but also because I'm quite structured. Doing something last minute would absolutely blow my mind, because what about my diary? What about...
The complete opposite of me.
Yeah, I haven't booked a hotel for Thursday when we go out. That's really blowing my mind at the minute, and that's back in my mind. I need to sort that for Manchester.
Maybe we need to swap, because I haven't seen, if I took Fit Me, what hotel I'm staying in. I've got a meeting before, I haven't even booked it in properly yet, and I've still got tables to fill. But we have got 4 days, so we're fine.
Maybe I'd be a better PA than I would direct to a company, I think.
So let's random few. That's Mr. George. So as a mortgage protection and guru with everything, what protection have you got for you, the kids, and Ali?
We worked it out when we renewed his wills recently, and there were a lot of protection for me that's made me a bit nervous if I stand at top of a ladder on the top of the stairs. So we've got shed loads of life cover and critical illness, knowing that paying the mortgage off if anything happens to me or Ali is the must. And then if anything happens to us as well, there's a lump sum to come in to kids and to whoever's surviving, because I couldn't do all the stuff that Ali does and run a business. But we must have been chatting about it in front of kids, because Isla told me the other day that as much as she loves me, what's Isla, coming up for 9, she loves me. She'd love me if I were dead. But she would definitely like a stepdad, because she don't want to have to do all the jobs that I do around the house. So it's nice to know the kids are prioritising what's important.
And Ali's thinking, if I've got a load of money, I can get a new
wants.
partner easy now. I've moved away.
I think that having the cover is important, and it makes it real when you talk to clients. Then, because I won't ever tell a client to look at a protection policy that I've not considered or that I've not got my family covered for. And I think that's the important part.
And you talk about how much are you paying loosely on your protection?
Maybe 150 quid a month.
Yeah. So that's something you when you speak to a client as well, it is, look, I take X, and we speak about, that's the lower end, that's middle, that's top tier. Sometimes you don't need top tier, but it's how your personality is, and you go... You
hope you're never going to need it, don't you? And I hope that you get to a point where you look back and think, what a waste of money that was.
And you won the lottery if you don't claim it at all.
But if we needed it, it's there, isn't it? And it's peace of mind, and that's what you can't replace that, can you? That comfort for your kids, your family, that if worst ever did happen.
So you've done your will as well?
The will's done, power of attorney. She's literally got me ready for being bumped off, mate, I think,
Trading you in. And your mortgage, who's your mortgage with? What rate are we on? When's your fix going up?
Yeah, fixed rate, Santander, 4.6 up in March. So we're getting to that point where I should be doing something about it now. And looking at the rates for what's coming up in future. Hopefully it's going to come down a little bit. Rates have come down since we took it 2 years ago.
And that's interesting, because we spoke about it before, but people automatically think rates are 2-3% because we used to pre-COVID rates.
Yeah.
But to go, look, I'm on 4.69 because of the circumstances or what it looked like at that point. And I think that's important for clients to see. And other people see, look, everything's different for different circumstances, or when it's due, when it's not due.
Rate's not everything, is it? If everybody could just get the cheapest rate, then we wouldn't exist, would we?
No.
Because it would just be Google.
ChatGPT would be doing it all day.
ChatGPT, what's the cheapest rate? I'll go and get it without understanding the criteria, the makeup of your mortgage, what's important, whether that rate comes with a big fee and is it worthwhile paying.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting point, because when we asked George this on the last one, George didn't know what rate it is, but I reckon if we asked him what his payment is, you would know what your payment is. So to me, the rate is kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
Can you afford it? How much? I mean, you know how much your monthly is,
Yeah.
and a good broker will be 6 months, 12 months in advance going, look, it's coming up at this point. This is what it's going to be. Let's have a look at your bank statements. Let's see where you can save your money, or what you're doing. Do you need some debt console? How are we going to look at it and work it? And that's your job. It's not, right, I've done a mortgage, see you later. It is checking, 6 months?
You don't want to be transactional, do you? And just that one mortgage. I think we're all from a relationship background. I want to look after you for everything. So it's a bit cheesy, but if you say to clients, if you need anything, just give it, anything finance related, just give me a ring. If I can't do it, I'll know a person who can. Or you need your will doing, I'll know someone. You know, whatever it might be, specialist insurance, we'll have someone that we can put you in touch with.
And the beauty of that is they come to you, you refer them on. That person, what you referred it to, will refer back to
they
you.
Remember where they got it from, don't they, that referral? But the client knows
They're
they need
looked
to ring
after,
me
yeah.
and I'll just look after them and find an answer.
Perfect. Right, is there anything what I've missed? Because Ali has sent me some questions. I can guarantee I forgot what they were.
I'm sure we'll both get told, mate. If
Yeah,
there is anything,
we are
then
getting
we'll be back
told
in
off
for
on
another
that.
one, but no, I don't think so. It's been a nice chat.
Anything from me? Any questions? Any wisdom? I haven't
What,
got
wisdom from you?
any wisdom. No, that's not happening.
No, I've used it. You saw me join on board. Come on board 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Have you seen our journey? Anything from the outside that you think we could have done a bit different? Or
I think it has, probably looking at the George one as well, it is very Yorkshire-ish. It's obviously not because you've got offices everywhere, but it is steady away, build a very concrete level business. There'll be certain mistakes, and the ones where you've made mistakes, you've actually come and said, I didn't think that were right, but you trusted your gut. And I think that's the main thing. But you go, right, I'm going to try that. I'm going to see if it works. And if it doesn't work, then we'll get rid, or not get rid, that sounds the wrong term, but have an honest conversation with people. And I think that's really important. I think that shows you really strong as a business person when you can look at conversations, you can look at business and go, actually that person doesn't fit, or it's not good for them as well. Then when you talk about you are building a family there, and we've been out for dinner and stuff, if there's someone in there what isn't making any money and you've tried to help them and tried to do stuff with them, then you've got to be fair on them and go, look, kick it on a bit, or it's not the right fit for you. And I think that's really important, what I've seen. I think being able to go to London and network and then come up here and still have a fantastic family life is a credit to you, because getting pulled from going to London, going to Barnsley, going to Leeds, it's not a nice environment to be working so hard, having two young kids very similar ages to mine.
Yeah.
It is testament, like, people forget it's really, one, it's hard building a business, going from employee to self-employed to then setting up and then going, right, I'm going to build it very steady. But then you didn't, because you brought a couple of people, but you brought them in very well. You knew who you wanted, they fitted the culture, and then you go, right, I want to go into London a bit more, and I want to go and do this, but I want to have my family holidays as well. So you've managed to probably get the holy grail, in my opinion. Worked hard, built successfully, built foundation, kept a happy family life, because Ali's got handbags, and the kids are happy and you're going on holiday. So to me, when you talk about success, you probably achieved it already. And then you're at that crossroads now of going, where do I go and where can I take it? And do I want to take it? Because you've got a fantastic life. And I think you will end up bringing in more admin. You will still do the bits of a job you love, which is going out not finding introducers, but speaking to people, networking, accountants, getting referrals, doing the hi, how are you? This is what we're looking at. Then getting the admin or the power planner to sort it out, and then you come in at the end, steal the thunder.
Yeah.
So I've done all this hard work, and they don't get any credit for it. But I think that's where you'll go, and then once you're at the full capacity, then either the power planner will come across, or you'll bring in a young advisor who will pick up some of your work, and you'll just keep growing organically. But I think you said earlier 2-year plan, 5-year plan. It will change every year.
Yeah.
You'll never not do it. So yeah, from me, it's been a fantastic journey. You're only still at the beginning of it. But yeah, it's an absolute pleasure from me.
Yeah, no, nice one. Cheers, mate.
Right, that is number 2 under wraps.
Cheers, buddy.
Thank you, Mr. Hardcastle.